So today I wanted to show you guys my van build project, and it's definitely a work in progress. I've been working on it a little bit here and there. I didn't actually have any kind of plan in place. It's just been put together in pieces, and like I said, no real plan. I just come up with an idea and slap something in. So I think one of the first places I started, I got some insulation. So I got a couple different kinds of insulation. So this is like it's like a foam with a kind of a radiant barrier on it. And then I also got this Silas hybrid stuff that I stuck on the ceiling. So this stuff is actually supposed to be kind of like a sound deadener, but it's kind of got a foam in the middle of it, so I figured it might have some insulation properties as well. I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to this insulation stuff. I just was pretty much trying things out, and for most part it seems to be working perfectly fine for what I'm doing with it, because it's keeping the temperatures in check. And I also have the air conditioner back here, which I'll show you in a minute, and that's doing fantastic in here. And then probably about the second thing I think I did was I got this carpet. This carpet is a pre-cut carpet, and you know, like in the back of vans, it has kind of a ridgy corrugated, it has these ridges in it. And this carpet is actually fitted to that. So it has those cutouts in the bottom, so it just mates perfectly. Now, if you're kneeling on this carpet with your knee, you definitely can, press down hard enough to where you can still feel those ridges. But for the most part, they're really not there, unless you're really digging in on a kind of a pressure point. But it's been great. And it was relatively inexpensive to do this carpet. And it was so easy because it's already cut the fit. You just slide it in. And then I think the third thing I did was this electrical cabinet. I had to get this fairly early in the build. I had to have my solar and my batteries. I mean, that's just a given, right? Oh, and I forgot to mention, this is a Ford Econoline E150. This is an extended version of that van, so it's the long one. Now it's not like the high roof kind of thing that you see on the Sprinter vans, but so far I've been happy with it, specifically because it's been affordable. I wasn't able to find a Sprinter van that was in any kind of decent shape mechanically for a reasonable amount of money. This thing I was able to get fairly reasonable, well within my budget, and so far I like it. But anyways, let's get back to the electrical cabinet here. So if you look here, what I've got a system wired for 24 volts. So I've got two of these 300 amp hour SunFun kit batteries. I've actually had these for a couple of years, and I used these in my garage for a while actually. And now I've kind of retired that system in my garage, and I've moved these batteries into my van. But I just built this cabinet out of plywood, and I painted it, and then I put these batteries down here, and then I put a little shelf right here that actually holds these batteries down, and then there's a lip here that keeps them from sliding out. And then from there I've got my Class T fuse that comes right off the battery bank, and that's a Blue C system fuse holder. And then I've got the Blue C's battery disconnect switch. And then this is awesome. This is a Blue C system MRBF fuse terminal block. So I've probably showed you guys, and probably a lot of you guys have already seen the fuses that go off the battery terminals, these MRBF fuses that come directly off the battery terminals. Well, this is the same kind of fuse, but it's like a bus bar where you can put 3 of those MRBF fuses. And then so this would be basically my positive bus bar and my fuses all in the same package. And then over here I just have just a regular negative bus bar. Let's see if we can get some light in here. Have you guys seen these lights? These Woobin G5s? These are awesome. I love this light. Like, it has a little spot, you know, a movable spot head right here, and then you can do RGB too. So check that out. With this wheel, you can change it. Isn't that awesome? This thing, I love this light. There we go. Let's just do white light right now. Oh, and it also has a magnetic base here, so check this out. Bam! Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Here, let me scoot it back. There we go. Oh, and if that's too bright, you can control it with this wheel. So you can dim it. All right, let's get back to our electrical cabinet here. So then from there, I actually have my MPPT 130 Victron charge controller. I had a fuse for that prior to actually getting this. I could have just easily put the fuse for that here, but I already had a fuse bought for it, so that's why that's connected here. So I just didn't want to, I didn't really want that to go to waste. I guess I could have went ahead and just ran it there and to clean this up a little bit, but whatever, it's fine. So, and then I've got my Blue Sea blade fuse terminal block here. And the only thing I've got running off this right now is my refrigerator. So that's the wire that comes down here and it goes to my set power fridge. Now the set power fridge is literally just kind of setting here, and I've got just bungee cords strapping it to the wall. There's some convenient little spots right here, little holes that are already in the wall where I was able just to latch those bungee cords. So that worked out. I mean, obviously I could build a permanent, you know, section for this, like something that it is molded to it, but really I think this is fine, and I don't have to commit to anything. I might actually move this somewhere else, but it's been fine right there, and it doesn't slide around or anything. And then of course we've got solar coming in, and so there's 600 watts of solar up on the roof, and that is, I think it's 3 bifacial Bouge RV panels. Three 200 watt Bouge RV bifacial panels. We'll take a look at those in a little bit. And then this wire going here is the one that's feeding to my out-equip 24 volt air conditioner. And then this thing has been great. I actually slept in the van for the first time last night, just to kind of test it out, and this thing was awesome. At nighttime I had it turned down low, and I was looking at the power draw. It was like doing about 250 watts, and at some points during the night I could hear it just completely wind down, so the compressor wasn't even running. I didn't quite get up to check the wattage at that point, but I'm sure it would have been real low because there's no compressor running. This thing ran throughout the night, and I think it may have used maybe 15% of the battery bank. Now granted, it wasn't super hot yesterday. It's been in the hundreds here, but yesterday it had cooled down. We got some rain, but like I said, that thing ran through the night. It was fantastic. While we're talking about that air conditioner, I've seen some videos of this air conditioner where people were saying that they had some leaking problems, and I haven't, but I will say that I'm not using the gasket that came with this air conditioner. I'm using a gasket, a 14-inch gasket that I bought on Amazon. I'll throw the links down in the description if anybody wants to take a look at it. But that gasket that I bought, I like a lot better. The one that this one came with, it's a little bit awkward. The shape of it seems awkward, and really it's kind of too big. And I think that's where maybe the leak problems will come into play, because there's some vents on the back side of this air conditioner that cannot be on the inside of the gasket, because they go all the way through to the top of the AC, because that's how it cools the condensing unit on the back. So if the air conditioner, if the gasket that comes with it is too big, it'll actually get those vents that you shouldn't get inside of the perimeter of the gasket, and that will cause water to leak in. And if you use a regular 14 by 14 inch gasket that you see on most RV kind of air conditioners, it's smaller and it really fits right on the edge of the 14 by 14 inch hole. And you can, and that's the other thing, you have to, this thing can slide forward or back, and if you have it too far forward, it will get those holes inside the perimeter, even on a smaller gasket. So you have to position it when you're installing this. You have to position it to where those holes in the back are outside of the gasket so that the water can't come through. I wish I could show you, but I've already got it installed and I don't want to take it apart. But it's easy. If you look at it, you can see where there's holes in the back of this thing that should not be on the inside of the gasket where the waterproofing should be at. But this thing has been fine. I haven't had any leaks, and it's been running really, really good, and it's very efficient. Actually, whenever we were putting this bed in, so we built this bed frame, I actually had this air conditioner just running. We had the van doors open, and I think we were out here doing this thing for like 11 hours, and that thing, I think it used probably about a little bit more than half of the battery bank. So that's a 300 amp hour 24 volt battery bank. So about, I think it was like 46 or 48% when we were done. But yeah, so that's the bed, and really we just kind of built these plywood boxes all along the side, over the wheel well, and then inside there's storage, and it's like that all the way back. So I can lift up the mattress and there's more storage back there. And same thing on this side. And then you can look underneath the bed, and it's completely, it's completely open all the way back. And I really wanted that way because I still want to be able to use the van. If I need to put lumber in here, or if I need to put a sheet of plywood through here, I still wanted to have that functionality of the van. So that's why, we built it that way. Also, this whole thing can actually come out. So the mattress and these pieces that go across can come out and just leave this whole gap. Now the boxes on the side stay, but yeah, the bed can come out if I need to really haul a bunch of stuff, if somebody needs to move or something like that. Let's see, what else? Oh, I just put this molly panel in. So this is a little molly panel that straps to the back of a seat. And so this is actually really neat. This was like a really sweet deal as well. I'll leave a link to that because you guys might want to check this out. These are usually pretty expensive, and this is metal. And I think this was only like $30 something, maybe 38, something like that. But I'm excited for this. I don't have any bags or anything to hang on this yet, but I want to get some molly compatible bags that can go on here, and maybe a couple other things, just extra storage. Oh, and one more thing over here in the power cabinet, I have my Victron shunt. I just haven't found a location where I want to put the meter at. So that's handy. This has Bluetooth as well, so technically I don't even really need to look at this. I could just look at it on my phone, but it's really convenient to have that physical meter somewhere that you can just glance at instead of having to pull an app up all the time. All right, so let's go outside and take a look at the panels and the roof. All right, so let's see what we got here. For the rack, I went with this Thule. It's like a gutter mount foot right here, and then these are, I think these are called Pro Bars. I don't remember. I'll put in the description what these actually are. But I went with these because I just felt like these made a much better connection to this little gutter right here. I did order a kind of a cheapy no-name one first, and when I started putting it together, I kind of realized I didn't quite like how it was connecting. I felt like it wasn't very secure. But I'm pretty confident that that's on there fairly good. And I've been driving this thing and nothing's loose on it. So I'm happy with that. All right, so here's my solar panel. So there's 1, 2, and then 3. And then I also got the Thule little fairing up there. I don't know if you can see that. I just wanted to keep the wind from getting underneath the panels. And then here you can see the air conditioner. And you can see right here, there's the little penetrations where the wires go through. So here's the ones for my solar, and then here's the one for my air conditioner. These are pretty nice little penetrations. These are called Scan Strut. I'll put the links to them in the description. But these, I just really wanted to get a good quality because I didn't want to put one up here that's kind of cheap that the sun would deteriorate and it would just leak and all that kind of stuff. These are real solid, so I'm happy with those. All right, and so here's the view from the back doors. And you can see here, there's the back side of the bed frame. Like I said, these, if I can take this mattress off, these all slide out. They're in these little slots right here. And of course, it's not finished. I've got to paint all this stuff. I've got to do some stuff to the walls. I've got to cover up, all this stuff. So I've got a little, I got a little bit more work ahead. But I'm real happy with it, and so far I'm enjoying it. It's been a fun build. And I'm gonna be doing some more stuff, so hopefully I'll be making some more videos of it. All right, so I think that's gonna wrap it up. I just wanted to give you guys a little tour of my van build, show you what I've been working on. There's a lot more to come. Obviously, I've got things that I need to do. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about my van build down there in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one.